Hello, my loves. Welcome back. So, I thought I want to spontaneously talk to you about this week's transits. I didn't plan this podcast. My next podcast was scheduled to be the Grand Fixed Cross that is coming up next week. But this week is so harmonious and so flowy that I thought we should talk about this because I want you to be able to use these energies, to become aware of these energies and use them in your life. Like just align with the flow. I want to particularly talk about Venus and the nodes. So Venus makes a trine to the south node and a sextile to the north node. And then I want to talk about Saturn and Mercury retrograde. They are in a sextile. Basically, they're dancing with each other because Mercury is going to station direct. So they're dancing with each other really for the next week. So this is such a beautiful aspect. I love this. I'm a little teary about this one. Maybe because I really feel this one in my life right now. It really is speaking to me, and I'm really aligned with this aspect. Well, we can talk about the moon too. The moon is right now in Capricorn. It is moving into Aquarius tomorrow, and it will meet Pluto there. So tomorrow, the moon will meet Pluto, as it does once a month, and we can talk about that as well. So what do I want to start with? I think I want to start with Venus. Let's start with Venus and the nodes. So what does this aspect mean and how does it apply, or how can we benefit from this aspect in our lives? So Venus is what we want. It's it's our pleasures. It's our sensuality. It's our values as well. And when this aligns, she's in Cancer right now, by the way, and there's a whole video about this, a whole podcast that you can listen to. So she's very family oriented. She's very, very, very sensitive and very, very protective of herself. And when she aligns right now with the nodes, which are in Scorpio and Taurus, so in a water sign and in an earth sign, she really feels protected. She really feels like she can build a home and she can leave her past behind. That trine to Scorpio allows her to say, okay, what do I want now, right? Where am I heading in the future? The North Node, right? Building something of substance. And then what do I need to leave behind in order to do that? And there is no major tension here. There's no, oh my God, I don't want to let this go. I can't let this go. I need this. No, it's like, okay, there's a certain clarity and there's this flow. Because this trine, there's no tension and there isn't much we actually have to do. We can just let it go. We have to be aware of it though, right? With the trine and also sextile, we got to be aware. With the sextile, we have to put in some work. With the trine, we just need awareness. And that is sometimes really difficult because it's so easy. So it's so easy. We just do it like, on the side. I would suggest though, don't do it on the side. Be aware of it. Be aware of the letting go. And this aspect is direct or exact today, but we'll take it into tomorrow, and then we'll have the aftermath, and we'll feel the aftermath on the weekend as well. So when we talk about Venus and the North Node, Venus in a sextile to the North Node, we have Venus in water, and then we have the North Node in Taurus. And now I just want to bring in another factor in this. There's also a sextile to the North Node from Saturn. It's not exact, but it is still applying. So that is so beautiful. So basically you have the sextile to the north node from Venus, then a sextile from Saturn, and Saturn is then also in a trine with Venus. So if this is not a building block, I don't know what is. If you really understand this in your life right now, what this actually means for you, you can build a stable, loving foundation for your future now. Venus love, Saturn structure and foundation, and the north node the future. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful aspect. There's really also, it's almost like we have a kite. We could say we have a kite. When I look at the chart right now, there's a kite aspect between the south node, the north node, Venus, and Saturn. And that is just, I mean, there's only flow there. There's like, when you align with this, you're in the flow. You can create whatever you want to create, especially because Saturn is involved. And Saturn, if Saturn says yes, you're good. You're good. You're good to go. You're good to go. I love this one. Beautiful. Then let's talk about Mercury and Saturn. Mercury and Saturn are also in a sextile. And you can see there's just so many beautiful energy. There's so much beautiful energy right now. And that is also another building block. So Saturn, the structure, and also the boundaries, right? And then Mercury, the mind, the communication, the way we communicate what we want and what we need and what we want to create in this life. Remember, maybe I'm going to put this chart, like for everyone that is looking at this on YouTube, I'm going to put the chart so you actually see this because it's beautiful. So Mercury is loosely conjunct the north node as well. So the future is speaking, right? The future is talking to you. It is trying to communicate with you, literally, right? Mercury, communication. Mercury is still in retrograde, but it will station at 5 degrees of Taurus. So Mercury is really, really slow right now and will station on the 14th. Today is the 10th of May. So we have 4 more days of Mercury retrograding. And Mercury is now starting to understand what has been happening in the past 2 weeks that it's been in retrograde. And it is communicating with the north node saying, okay, well, I think we're building this. This is where we're heading. And then it's like in contact with Saturn in a sextile, and it says to Saturn, okay, I want to do this. Are you on board? And Saturn in a sextile is definitely on board. But Saturn tells Mercury, okay, you want this, you have to put in the work. You got to follow your inspiration. Follow your inner guidance. Mercury in retrograde is a Mercury that is really connected to our core essence, right? Like that energy, the retrograde energy, has an easier connection to the core essence from where we create. So Mercury, Saturn says to Mercury, okay, so take this and run with it. You've got my blessing, but you have to put in the work, right? Action is required. Then let's just really quick go over the moon. Talk about the moon. Right now, still in Capricorn, where the moon is, it's not that it's emotionless, but it is more, it's aware of the emotion in a way where it can say, okay, yes, this is nice. Someone says something, let's do this. And then the moon in Capricorn says, yes, it's nice, but let me think about the details. Let me think about how we can do this in the most productive way. You know, how can we both benefit from it the most? So there's a certain amount of calculation in this. And there's boundaries where the moon says, okay, you want this? Okay, well, wait a minute. Stop. Let me just check in with myself for a minute, right? It's not rushing in. It's level-headed. It's a level-headed moon right now. Then the moon is going to move into Aquarius. And in Aquarius, the moon is, first of all, it's going to meet with Pluto. And Pluto is the soul's potential in this life, right? What the soul is here to learn, but also here to experience, and how far it can go, right? It's the furthest planet out there. I mean, technically it's not considered a planet, but in astrology we still talk about it in form of like it's a planet. So the moon, the emotional capacity, the wavy waters are going to now meet the full potential. And it is always a shock for the moon when it comes together with Pluto, because it's so intense, and the moon is like, whoa, 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 how can I handle this? How do I not go overboard? The moon will not go overboard because we are in Aquarius. So in Aquarius, the moon has the capacity to mentalize things, to go into the mind, to leave the body. I'm not saying this is a good thing. I'm just saying it's easier for the moon to be more cognitive, to take the emotion and look at the emotion and say, okay, I'm overwhelmed. Okay, what can I do with this overwhelm? How can I actually benefit from it? What can I learn from it? And what can I learn from what I've just been shown by Pluto? And it's a really quick one, right? The moon just passes Pluto quickly, but it will stay with the moon, because the moon, every time the moon meets a planet, it learns something, right? It's just like it sees something, it learns something, it internalizes something. And so the moon in Aquarius is a moon that wants to take it to the mental plane and wants to understand it mentally. Whatever just happened in the body, right? The moon is the body, and then now it's trying to understand what has just happened emotionally in the mind. So we have 2.5 days of that. So this is going to be on Tuesday. Did I say today's Tuesday? No, today is obviously Wednesday. So today is the Wednesday the 10th, and tomorrow is Tuesday the 11th. And then so tomorrow and Friday we have the moon in Aquarius. Saturday in the early afternoon Paris time, the moon will move into Pisces. So we have the moon in Pisces this weekend. And that's a moon that, first of all, it will meet with Saturn there. So it's beautiful. I actually love that. I love the moon meeting Saturn in Pisces, because there is, again, the potential of making your dreams a reality. And the moon now understands it on an emotional level again, right? On a body conscious level. Whereas in Aquarius, it was a little detached, right? Aquarius is very detached from the body. And now we're going into Pisces. And there we came full circle, right? Pisces is the last sign. We come full circle. And now we can integrate, the moon can integrate what it learned on its journey from Aries now into Pisces. And then in meeting Saturn, the moon can now say, okay, I've learned all these things, and now I'm coming and meet Saturn, the principle of structure and boundaries, and how can I now benefit from all that I learned and bringing it to Saturn? What is Saturn going to do, or what am I going to do with it when I meet Saturn? You know, what are we going to build? Every time I see Saturn, I'm thinking building. What are we building here? Let's build something. So this is a beautiful weekend to allow yourself to also remember we have Mercury in retrograde trining at sextiling that Saturn. It's a beautiful weekend to ask yourself, it's like, what are you building for the future? Like on all levels, right? What do you feel? What do you feel in your body? Not just mentally what you think, but what's your body saying to you? And are there any issues in your body where the body is like, well, I'm not feeling good about this. I'm not sure about this. And then you can investigate, right? You can look at, okay, why do you not feel good about this? What is, where's the issue? What needs to still be released? And, we still have that beautiful aspect between the South Node and Saturn as well, where the release is assisted by Saturn. The moon will also be in a trine with the South Node this weekend. So beautiful, beautiful time in the next 5 days to realign with yourself. And I urge you to do that, because we've got quite a week ahead next week, with the Grand Cross, with Taurus meeting Pluto in a square, with the Grand Fixed Cross. That is going to be really tense again. So realigning yourself and really becoming clear about the future is of utter importance. It's of utter importance because when you get yourself ready, you find your equilibrium again, and then you will be faced with whatever will come up during the transits in the next week and until the end of May. You will be I don't want to say armored, but you will be better prepared for that, because you have some grounding, you have some foundation, you have some understanding of where it's heading. And so the issues that you'll face during the middle of May, you'll understand that this is just part of your growth, and this is you can absorb it in an easier way when you're grounded and when you understand where you're heading. Then this is just an obstacle in your way that you have to overcome, and you can learn something from it, right? It's not gonna blow everything out of proportion if you are able to align right now, using this week until, I would say, this what I've been talking about now. This is true for like probably the next 5-6 days. And it's almost like the universe is giving us a little goodie here, saying, okay, here, prepare yourself. This is for you. This is my gift to you. Use it wisely. So I urge you, use this gift wisely, and have a wonderful rest of the week, and we will talk soon. Bye-bye.